Hello, welcome to LinkedIn Live. I'm Lauren Sweeney, Vice President at Rise Up For You, where we help leaders and professionals grow through confidence, communication, and leadership development. Welcome to Rise Up For You TV. Today's topic is for anyone who's ever had to lead in chaos, pivot quickly, or make hard calls under pressure. According to McKinsey, over 70% of leaders say they don't feel fully equipped to lead effectively during a crisis. And yet, we know how you lead in the storm determines trust, culture, and clarity that your team will walk away with afterwards. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, I'm going to share 3 essential leadership strategies to help you stay grounded and make smart decisions when everything can feel urgent, emotional, or uncertain. Now, we're live on LinkedIn and on Instagram. So while we're live, if you have a question, please just drop it in the comments and we would love to interact with you. At Rise Up For You, we've worked with thousands of leaders across the industry. And what makes me qualified to talk with you today? Well, from working with startups to Fortune 500s and even Fortune 5s, we found that confident, emotionally intelligent leadership doesn't just show up when things are good, but it emerges when the pressure is on. In fact, 75% of careers we found are derailed due to relations of a lack of trust, lack of leadership, especially during uncertain times. So you could say that it matters even more when there's a lot of chaos. So let's think about it for a moment. 3 key steps. Number 1, the first one that we want to implement is pausing before we react. In crisis, our instinct is to jump into action, that fight or flight response. However, the best leaders respond. They don't just react. Same goes for us in our personal lives. I know anytime I'm reacting to a conversation, it never goes as well as when I'm responding. Even 90 seconds of pausing can allow our nervous system to settle and our clarity to sharpen. When we slow down, our team feels safer and more secure. Number 2, control the controllables. We cannot fix everything at once. We want to focus on what we can control: communication, decision-making frameworks, and team mindset. Even if the situation is chaotic, our clarity sets the tone. Number 3, communicate with calm, not chaos. Over-communication is key, but it has to be intentional. Be the calm in the storm, as they say. Share what we know, what's changing, and what is staying the same. Trust is built when people feel informed, even if the news isn't perfect. Now, I see we have a question coming in from Brenda. This is a great one. On LinkedIn, Brenda wrote, "What happens if everything feels uncontrollable?" I know you talked about controlling the controllables. Absolutely. So what I like to do with the individuals that we coach is talk about there's the circle of control. What can I control? There's what I can't control. And I know sometimes that seems very little, but if you work on it intentionally, I think you'll see there's more things you can control than perhaps you think. And then there's an area of concern. These are not things that I necessarily can control, but I am worried about them and it leaks energy. So it's a great question, Brenda. What I want you to do is create those 3 circles. What can I control? What can't I control? And what's my area of concern? Meaning these are things I can't control, but I'm still thinking about them, worrying about them, and taking up bandwidth in my mind about them. When I do this exercise with leaders we work with, oftentimes we find that if we focus on the things we actually can do something about and have influence on, that it just is more relaxing and more effective. So that's a great question. If you have more questions while I'm here live on LinkedIn and Instagram, please ask, because we would love to be able to support you. Also, I want to mention that we don't need to go from 0 to hero. So if right now you don't communicate that calmly or you don't pause at all, that's okay. What's a 1% shift I can take? I've also had leaders wear a rubber band that said pause, and they would snap it to remind themselves, that's right, pause. Even saying in a meeting that feels very chaotic, hey team, let's take 5 minutes and come back together. Or if you get a feisty email or a team member that feels like they need to talk to you urgently, you can pause and you can say, your communication is important to me, and right now I don't have capacity to talk with you. Can we talk at 4 o'clock? That way they know that talking to them is important, and you want to make sure that you have the most bandwidth possible. If you're navigating tough leadership moments, or you want to build your resilience before the next challenge hits, which is always a good idea, I want you to check out our free confidence quiz. Head on over to riseupforyou.com under free resources. It's a quick and powerful way to assess how grounded and confident you really are in the 9 different competencies, especially when things get tough and chaotic. And if today's message really resonated with you, leave a comment. If you're watching the replay, perhaps tag a fellow leader or private message ourselves, our team, or myself. We want to keep building a leadership culture that's calm, clear, and courageous, no matter the crisis. It's been a pleasure to spend this time with you at Rise Up For You TV. I'm Lauren Sweeney, your Vice President, and I look forward to seeing you soon.